Hey, welcome back everybody. You're tuning in to howtoplaystock.com. My name is Kepley. Today is October 21st, 2016, and in today's video I wanted to cover the topic of LIFO and FIFO. Now you might be asking, what are those? Basically it's account settings that you can change in your broker account, which will help you develop a strategy in your long-term and short-term trades. And basically what this will do is it'll present you with better opportunities to take cash off the table when you're in profits. Okay, so stick around, keep watching, and I'll see you in the next segment. Okay, so we're back here and we're covering LIFO and FIFO. These are account settings that are in your broker account. Now, if you were to ask me if every broker account offers this, I believe they do, but don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. Basically, all you need to do is just go into your broker account, look at your tax management settings. A lot of them are in there. If it's not in there and you can't find it, just get in touch with your broker through customer service and ask them if that's even available to you. But basically, what it is, it's account settings in your broker account that you're using for like trading long-term or short-term, and you can adjust the settings on this so that it's either LIFO or FIFO. Now, what is LIFO? LIFO stands for last in, first out, and FIFO stands for first in, first out. Now, what does that mean? Basically, what it means, and it helps you when you're making, let's say you go in on a stock, right? You invest in a stock, and you buy two different orders at two different prices on your stock. So, for example, stock XYZ, let's say your first order, you buy 50 shares, right? And let's say you buy them at, I don't know, $16.50. Okay, that's order one. Order number one up here. So that's your first order. And then let's say you buy a second order, order number two, and let's say you buy another 50 shares. But let's say you buy it $18. Okay? Now, you could have bought this XYZ stock here, and it's the same stock we're going with. So you could have bought XYZ on order number one, say it's $16.50, right? And then order number two at $18, or vice versa. You could have bought in, say, at $18, and then the price started dropping on you, so you decided to buy in on some dips, buy in on the lower price, so you bought in at $16.50. For this example, it doesn't matter, what price you bought in on. We're just simply showing you an example of, buying the same stock on two different orders. Okay, and why I believe LIFO, last in, first out, is a better way to go with your account settings on your trades rather than the first in, first out, and I'll explain that here in a minute. So, knowing that, let's say that for instance, the price on XYZ, let's say it goes to, I don't know, you bought in at $18. Let's say it just goes to $18.50, okay? So XYZ, it jumps to $18.50, okay? Now, knowing that, you're in profit by about 50 cents, right? And let's just say that you want to sell some of your shares, but if you're in first in, first out, basically what that means is that your first order is going to be the first one that's sold when you take shares off the table. Now you can sell all at once if you want to. But if you're just wanting to take like a portion of that off the table because you're in a pretty good profit, you can most certainly do that. And with first in, first out, you're going to sell order number one first because it was the first order in. Okay? Now, obviously it's at $18.50. You made a $2 profit on each share. That would have given you a pretty good return, you know, depending on how much money you put into it. But that's first in, first out. And then, of course, you know, if you wanted to sell order number 2, you can most certainly do that, and you would have took a 50-cent profit because you bought in at $18 right here. That's first in, first out. That's how that works. Now, again, like I said, you could have sold both orders all at once, you know, instead of making separate orders like that. But normally, what I like to do when I'm trading is I'll place multiple orders on a stock like that, because if you go back and you look at some of my other videos that I have, I'll leave a link in the description here. It shows you how I kind of position myself when I buy a stock. I'll go in with a small amount of money to see which direction it goes, if it goes up or down. If it goes down and the price direction goes against me, I'm not really worried about it. I'll just add to my position and buy in at a lower price. That way when it rebounds and it goes back up, I can take profits off the table because I go into a profit quicker. All right? And again, first in, first out, if you're doing first in, first out, and let's say the price does go against you and it goes down, okay, and you buy in at a lower amount, and let's say the stock price jumps back up to, let's see here, let's say it just jumps to $17, right, instead of $18.50. Well, now if you were in first in, first out settings with your broker, you're not going to be able to sell. Like if you were to sell, your first order would sell first, but you wouldn't be able to sell your second order because you're not in profit yet. So you're going to lose money. So you'll have to wait for it to come back up to $18. Okay, that's one of the disadvantages to first in, first out. Okay, now I'm going to explain the last in, first out real quick. So last in, first out is basically just the opposite of what I explained here. So order number 1, okay, that's your first order. Last in, last out. If you're set up for last in, last out now, and let's say the price jumps to $17, this is important because order number 2 is your last order. So if you're set up for last in, first out, what's going to happen when you sell? If the price jumps to $17 and you sell, you're going to sell order number 2 instead of order number 1 because it's last in, first out. So your last order was order number 2, okay, and it's going to be the first one out. You would take a loss if you were to sell this. So I'm set up, I believe last in, first out is better because I like to buy on dips. I like to buy when the price goes down. So I'll start out at a higher price normally, okay, and when that price starts dropping, I'll jump in and buy up more shares, but that's my last order. And then if it keeps dropping, I'll buy some more. That's my last order now. And eventually what happens is when your price starts rebounding and going up in value, you know, you're taking little amounts of profits off the table from your last order. So it goes backwards. So instead of order number 1 being taken off first, it's taken off order number 3, and then order number 2, and then order number 1. Okay? And as the price is going up, it allows you more opportunities to take money off the table. Whereas with first in, first out, you know, if you bought in at a high price and it goes down, and of course you're buying in on dips, well, you know, it could have taken a $5 decline in price, and it may take you 8 months for it to get back up to that price, and if you were to sell, it's going to sell your first order first. And if you bought in at $18, and let's say it dropped to 14, and it's taken, you know, 8 or 9 months for it to get back up here, and you're getting impatient, and you turn around and you sell, you're going to lose money on first in, first out, because it's going to take the order that you bought in at which was $18, and it'll take that off the table first. Okay? You're not in a profit. And that's why I like last in, first out better than first in, first out. So that's how that works. Again, watch one of my other videos that I have where I go in and I actually shot a video on how I bought my shares with SLV for silver, because I'm placing a trade with that. It's a little bit more long term, and I kind of, it gives you a good example of how you can go in on a price, and if the price drops on you, which it did for me, you can buy in at a lower amount. Okay, and then if you're set up for LIFO, or last in first out, when it rebounds and starts rebounding, I'm going to be in a profit much quicker now. I don't have to wait as long for it to come back up to that initial price, that I bought in on for my first order. Okay, so if you have any questions or concerns, go ahead and leave your questions in the comment section. I'll go ahead and answer those the best I can for you. I also have a website, howtoplaystock.com, that you can check out. It has a lot of great information in there. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because I've got playlists that I'm putting together on individual topics within investing, and investing is a very broad topic, and it takes a long time to gather this information, learn it, and then test it, and figure out what works for you. Okay, that's very important, because anybody can win and get money off of trading stocks, but there's very few people who can minimize their risk and keep playing the game without losing all their money, because eventually you're going to lose. Okay, the price will turn against you, and if you can set up things like this LIFO account settings in your broker account, and put that into your strategy for taking profits, it's going to help you in that process and minimize your risk so you're not losing money. Okay, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and remember, income's the outcome. Okay, you have to be patient, because some of these trades, they're going to go against you, and then you have to wait. So be patient, and remember, income's the outcome. I'll talk to you guys later.